The Hyundai Tucson, equipped for new adventures.
Hello gamers, welcome to the stream. Hope you're all doing well. Sorry for the lateness. I did try to warn you guys on Tuesday. If I did stream Thursday, it would be pretty late. And here we are. It is later than usual. But the good news is, in preparation for this, I actually did 70 encounters yesterday as opposed to the traditional 50 that I usually do on, well, even on streams. I try to do like 50 a day, but I did 70 yesterday. So that today, we only have to do 30. So it's going to be a shorter stream. We're kind of just like picking up right where we would be anyway, probably. I did the 20 yesterday off stream. But yeah. So that's the good news. We're past 3,500. We're getting closer to 3,600 and therefore 4,000. So yeah, we're doing pretty good. I hope you guys have been well since we saw each other last. That's true. Some things come out tomorrow. So I am not getting Link's Awakening. At least not tomorrow. In the future, maybe Christmas time, maybe if it ever goes on sale or something, possibly. But for now, I'm not. However, I am expecting a package from Amazon tomorrow, and hopefully that package includes Ivysaur and Squirtle amiibos, because I love Pokemon Trainer. I have the Pokemon Trainer amiibo still just like chilling here. So yeah, I'm waiting for him to have his two friends. And if they ever do like a female Pokemon Trainer as well, I guess I'll probably have to get that. I do have a Charizard, but it's not on my person. It's nowhere near me. But anyway, welcome. Melissa, Neo Kaizen, Nick Meister, Sonic Chow, of course. Zane, welcome Zane. Any new luck on Mewtwo or any of the shinies for Gen 5? I'm playing Sims 4 right now while watching the streams with the new pack Realm of Magic. Hey, nice, nice. Sims is always really fun. I'm not really interested in it, in Link's Awakening. Well, it's actually a fantastic game, at least like the Game Boy version was. Obviously, I have not played the new Switch version, but if it, lives up to its predecessor, then it's going to be really, really amazing. It's just, yeah, full price. Someone put it like the perfect way on Twitter today, I saw, which was just essentially like it's so crazy and so amazing. Well, not amazing, but just like wild, I guess, that, you know, we live in a world where like you can buy Breath of the Wild for the same price as Link's Awakening remake, right? And it's just like, not to take anything away, but it's just like, man, like one of those games is like just, oh my god, and then the other game is like, you know, a fun little, it's just like, which game are you gonna get more hours out of, you know? But they're the same price. And we'll see. But I just, knowing like how the first game was, it's not a long game. Like, I think I beat it in like 3 days or something. And I wasn't like playing it religiously. I was really only playing it after my shifts at like Walmart. And I beat it in like 3 days. Yeah, I've played Zelda and stuff in the past, so maybe like I was at an advantage that way. But yeah, I don't know. Just to me, like, it's just really hard to justify that full price tag when there's still like a ton of other great games, right? Like Fire Emblem Three Houses, I keep mentioning, but like that's a game that, you know, I've heard upwards of 100+ hours possibly. Like, it's crazy. What's up, FaZe Neuvern? How are you doing? Stan, will I be seeing you tomorrow at Area 51? If Heracross appears tonight, then it's possible. I'm not gonna lie. If Heracross appears tonight, then anything in this world is possible. However, if it does not, which, let's be honest, it might not. It's very unlikely. Every single night that I have done a stream for you guys, I've said, hey, it could happen tonight, and it has not. So think about that for a sec. So if it doesn't happen, then, I mean, you know, everything's still only within the realm that it can exist in. Yo, what's up, Megabird? How you been? I've been sick, so no raids for me. Isn't it a remake of a remake? Technically, yeah. The DX version, though, honestly, was more like think of it as like a director's cut almost. It just colorized all of the like dungeons and obviously like just the game in general for the Game Boy Color, and then added in an extra dungeon, I believe. It may have also fixed or just kind of, you know, sanded down some edges of the original, but as far as I'm aware, it's essentially more of just like an enhanced port as opposed to a full-on remake, which obviously the Switch version is like a full-on remake, like new art style, new assets, everything, right? Some people were saying the original game is going to get delisted from the 3DS eShop. Well, I mean, how much longer will the 3DS eShop go? I mean, probably a while because it's Nintendo, but still. Eventually it's got to happen, right? So I wouldn't be surprised. Three Houses is easily 200+ hours. That's what I hear. That's what I hear. And so, like, that's just the thing, is that, like, Link's Awakening is going to be really, really fun. If you love Zelda and that specific game the way that I love Pokemon, for example, then, like, maybe it's totally worth it, and I totally understand that. As a cool holiday gift as well, I think it's like, but for me, in the middle of September, to just be like, yo, I'm going to drop, like, $80 or whatever a Switch game costs now, in Canadian money, is a lot. That's a lot to just be like, here we go. Hello, Lord Cole. Hello, Barley. Barl's in charge. Barl's in charge. Barl's Martinet. Couldn't compare Link's Awakening to Let's Go almost. Actually, I think it's a very good comparison. That's why I kind of said like how Pokemon is to me, because I was actually using that game and I had that game in mind when I was saying that. Because that is an example of a game that, like, you're absolutely right. You get about 15, maybe 20 hours if you want to go a little bit above and beyond. If you shiny hunt like myself, I mean, even shiny hunting, you're at some point you kind of like get limited a little bit. So I feel like, yeah, it's definitely under 50 hours, I would say, in total, no matter like how you slice it for Pokemon Let's Go. Unless you're someone who really, really like you had to complete the shiny decks or something. There's really no like post game that's gonna like keep you. I don't think, at least. And the main game is fun, but yeah, you're right. It only lasts like so many hours. So Link's Awakening is to Zelda, or here's a better example. Link's Awakening is to Breath of the Wild what Let's Go will hopefully be to Sword and Shield, right? Sword and Shield, let's hope, will have a robust post-game. It will, you know, hopefully feature, you know, good battle mechanics, deep battle mechanics, new ways to shiny hunt, things like that, right? That will keep players coming back for more. We'll see, maybe not, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful at least. Sun and Moon, I thought, had an okay post game, better than Six's for sure. It was okay, but yeah, I'm hoping for more from Gen 8. We'll see. Well, I wanted to come in and say hi. I hope you are doing well, but I'm tired and want to go to bed. Night. Lord Cole, you got to get your beauty sleep, all right? You got to get it. It's me, Barles. I thought Let's Go was a beautiful game. It may be my third favorite Pokemon game. Wow, that's high praise. That's high praise. It is very fun. Like, that's the thing about Let's Go. People are still, you know, complaining about it even now. But it's like, it wasn't for me, and I still had a really good time with it. So, I appreciate it. I don't regret purchasing it. I will say, I do sort of regret buying, like, the deluxe edition with the Pokeball and everything with Mew in it. I never even used it. Like, I'm probably just going to save that Mew and use it and put it into Sword and Shield. But even then, I have Mews from, like, older games that, I don't know. The point is just, like, I probably shouldn't have bought that version. But I do think just the game on its own was well worth the price. But that's for me, and it won't be, you know, for other people, in the same way that Link's Awakening right now isn't enough for me to justify making the purchase when I can still play the DX version on my 3DS whenever I want. But for some people, it's going to be worth it. For some people, that cute art style or just like the memories of that game are going to propel them to buy it day one, right? And that's totally cool. I agree, Barley. They gave us the walking Pokemon thing, which was a nice little, like, consolation prize, I guess, right? For what we are eventually, like, have happen with the whole National Dex crisis. But, yeah, that is a blue, yellow-eyed Heracross. How's, I guess this must be a really good time for you, eh, Barley? Usually I start the stream, like, way earlier than this, and you might even either be in school or getting back from school or doing, like, you know, I know you're the star of the football team. Hey, Sonic Link, welcome. It may also be because I've never beat Gen 1 before. I still think that Fire Red, Leaf Green are, like, the optimal ways to play Gen 1. They're just because they just have so much to offer. I've said this multiple streams. I'm sure you guys are sick of it. But, yeah, like, with the Sevi Islands and the, you know, compatibility between the other Gen 3 games and then even kind of technically Gen 4 at least. Well, not really, but you can transfer Gen 3 to Gen 4, I guess. Whereas, like, Let's Go just feels very finite, very, like, in and of itself, which is totally fine. But it just, yeah, I don't know. Whereas, like, Gen 3 just felt more connected to all the Pokemon stuff and was also a really fun, bright, colorful game. Yeah, the Pokemon did not follow you, but that's what Heart Gold and Soul Silver is for. And might I add, I still do think that, I mean, I'm sure technically speaking, the 3D models took more time and effort, but it just feels like having all those, like, 493 or whatever Pokemon it was at the time with Gen 4 available to walk behind you, plus their shiny forms or their, like, alternate forms. It's just super cool, right? Not that, like, obviously the 151, well, I guess technically Mew couldn't be shiny, but I think everything else could be shiny. So, like, 150 variants, like, could be shiny or not, and having specific animations, like, obviously, like, you know, the walking Snorlax animation is, like, a thing of beauty. Seeing, like, riding around on Arcanine or whatever it might be is really fun. So, like, I'm assuming overall there's probably more work, especially having to render all that in a 3D space for Let's Go, but, man, it feels so much like more in the 2D games, which is just so funny. But yeah, you get out at almost 1 every day. Holy. Hey Stan, do you have any absolute favorite Switch games? I really do think that Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild are just, like, 2 of the greatest games within their genre, like, ever made. Like, I truly do feel like they're the pinnacle. Like, Mario Odyssey is the apex of a 3D Mario or just a 3D platformer in general. Like, to me, it's better than Banjo-Kazooie. It's better than any of the other Mario games, and Mario Galaxy is one of my favorite games of all time. But it's just the best. It's the most fluid, just responsive, fun I've maybe ever had with, like, any game, honestly. Like, Mario Odyssey is just brilliant. And then Breath of the Wild, on the other hand, is just, like, a masterpiece. Like, it just might be one of the top 10, like, best games ever made, like, objectively speaking, right? I don't know if it cracks my personal top 10, but just as a video game, as an experience, it's like nothing I've ever played before or honestly since. I'm really excited for the sequel to that game. I hope we get an Odyssey sequel as well, like with some inspired stuff. I'd really like them to, like, tackle, I felt like the ice worlds in Galaxy Odyssey 1 were a little lacking, like the penguin races and stuff. I think they could definitely, like, do better with ice worlds and stuff. we'll see what happens. Anyway. Also, I like the little references in Fire Red Leaf Green to keep other things like GS and Sevi Island Silver. Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice. They definitely like thought about the greater Pokemon world and narrative, which is awesome. You volunteer at your local library. That's very kind of you, Barley. What a good guy you are. Wow. I piggybacked on my Machamp for most of the game. His name is Machad. I'm surprised you didn't name him Milroy. Is it just me, or is Epic Yarn been going up in price? I think someone in my Discord, you asked that, and they replied and said that, like, no, it's just you. They found it for, like, 25 bucks or something. I think. So, take that with a grain of salt. But I did remember reading that. I really wish Game Freak were on this yearly release cycle for Pokemon. It feels like the quality of the series has dipped. If there has to be yearly releases, then they should have another dev make games along with them. Like Genius. I agree. I don't know if Genius Sorority is the answer, but it is weird that they're trying to, like, do the Activision thing, right? Which is, like, we're just going to always have a game in this franchise every year, no matter what. But unlike Activision, they're not willing to put the money into hiring, like, different development studios. It doesn't make sense that, like, why would they not have a different studio do the remake games, right? Separate. Like, obviously, have them in contact and have them, you know, talk to them. But, like, it does feel a little odd that they're just like, yeah, we'll just have, like, an A and a B, and now maybe even, like, a C team. Plus, we'll have, like, a Pokemon Go division. It's just, like, Game Freak, just I know it's your baby, but just let some other people work on it. And maybe they can't because they're afraid if they do, maybe the other studio will outdo them, and then Nintendo will, like, buy them out and just let the other... And then they're like, our baby's gone. I don't know. Business is a very complicated thing, but it does certainly feel that way at times. I want Splatoon 3. Probably by the end of the Switch lifecycle, maybe. Call of Duty does it, and I think it works out for them. And that's the thing, and, like, people are gonna say, well, yeah, but we don't want Pokemon to be like Call of Duty. But it's kind of getting there. Like, it's, like, the innovations between game to game are starting to kind of be, like, in a Call of Duty thing, where it's, like, it doesn't really feel like there's... Obviously, there is a difference between, like, main series games, and then, like, you know, remakes and Let's Go and sister games and things like that, right? Those probably don't take as much time and eat up as much resource, but it does sort of feel like we're starting to... We're in the era right now of, like, kind of that, like, Activision spin, like, cycle of just, like, we always have to have something ready for the consumer. Every holiday season, every November, there needs to be a Pokemon game, because the last year we had that, and the year before we had that, and if we don't have that this year, we're not going to make as much money, and if we don't make as much money, then it looks like our company is bleeding money, and they can't have that. I don't know. I'll name a Sword and Shield Monroy. Which one are you going to get, Barley? Sword or Shield? To be fair, the games are high quality, but Gen 8 looks like it needs more optimization time. But the thing is like, the games are fun, and they're high quality, but they felt more and more bare. Like, I feel like Gen 6 onward, ever since they started this, like, trend of we need to make a game every single year, it does sort of feel like they just, like, leave things off the table, right? They make their game, they have to rush it out, they can't finish every thought or idea that was put in, so there's all these, like, open-ended things, like Zygarde and X and Y, or the Battle Frontier and Oras, or whatever, right? And it's just, like, it feels like they get so excited to make the game, and then they're making the game, and they're like, oh, we gotta start working on the other game, shut this baby down, and then they do. And then, like, even in Gen 6, like, all that, like, power plant area stuff that might have had something to do with Volcanion, the fact that there's no more, like, actual event, like, missions in the game, it's just like, oh, here's a free Pokemon at the Pokemon Center. No more, like, actually cool, you go to this island and you get this special thing, and, you know, it's only if you have the special ticket. Like, it would go a long way. And, you know, things like Battle Frontier and just broader post-game, I don't know, like, people, I'm just regurgitating the same old, like, you know, rhetoric at this point, but it really does feel like they're just, and I don't blame the actual, like, the day-to-day developers. I blame the greediness of, like, the corporation more as, like, an entity than anything else, right? Because I know there's passion in Game Freak. I know there's a reason that, you know, most of the Pokemon in Galar are designed by, like, a British man, right? Like, I think his name's James Turner or whatever, and he did, like, Poipole, he did a few. Anyway, point is, like, they are trying to get better, and I appreciate that, but they're trying to get better without ever making any, like, or I guess that's is the opposite of that. They're always making compromises, like, always. It doesn't matter. It's not, like, and that's why people were mad about the national decks. It's not that it was just the national decks. It's that we've been saying for years now that, like, every time Game Freak takes one step forward, they always take 2 steps back. They always leave something behind, right? Like, Gen 7, oh, it's great. There's no gyms, like, HMs are, like, a thing of the past officially now, because we have, like, ride stuff, and, oh, it's all good, and Alolan forms are so fun, and, you know, oh, I love this, the plot's back. But then it's also like, yeah, but it's a little super linear. They didn't actually have, like, all the Pokemon. A lot of them still had, like, the question mark. Yeah, you could get them in, which is the most important thing, but it was still, like, the dex wasn't fully, like, registered with, like, text about every Pokemon. The online, people still prefer Gen 6, I think, to this day, in terms of online, like, capabilities. Gen 7, I think a lot of people were like, yeah, it's not as good. And just, like, a bunch of various things, right? And then, you know, they come out with Let's Go, and that's a whole nother thing, because it's not the same. But it's like, and then they tease us again with, like, the walking Pokemon, which is something, now we know, we have proof of concept that, like, it could work, and then they show us the Gen 8 trailer, and they're like, yeah, no, no. Like, you can have, like, a roaming area, and that'll be fun, but, like, nah, I don't know. Pokemon Z could have been cool. It could have been, I mean, it probably wouldn't have been that much more. Like, let's be honest, it's probably not much more. But maybe if it just gave us a real post-game. Like, because Gen 6, I still think suffers from maybe, like, the worst post-game in the series. And that would have been cool if Gen Z just had that, right? We did get the Delta episode in Orre, though, so, like, I can't be too critical of those games. I know a lot of people are still mad about Battle Frontier and stuff, but, like, the Delta episode was pretty sweet. And they still kept a lot of the fun stuff intact from Gen 3. Wasn't quite the same. Gen 3, I think, still feels... Maybe just because on the technology and the nostalgia blinding me. But Gen 3 still feels a little bit more robust, I guess. Maybe that is just the Battle Frontier. I don't know. But at least in terms of post-game. But Gen 6 for sure is like... It's a fun way to play. It justifies its existence. They didn't even bother to try to do an episode of Zygarde in Sun and Moon. It's true. Stan, have you ever played Zelda Skyward Sword? I have. We were talking about that the other day. I do really enjoy it. Like, genuinely... It was so fun to actually get better with the sword, and, like, I had a good time. I love all Zelda games. That might have been the one I was the most hyped for, like, ever. In terms of, maybe even the most, no, I was going to say the most hyped Nintendo game. That will always belong to Super Smash Bros. Brawl. There's not a single game that I've been more hyped for than Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Not Sun and Moon, which I was super hyped for. Not, I don't know, Smash Bros. Wii U or Smash Bros. Ultimate, like... It was Brawl. I was checking the dojo every morning. I was, like, looking at... That's literally... I feel like I discovered the internet, like, for real, with Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Like, just the hype and watching videos and going on forums before Reddit was even, like, really a thing. And it just is great. The national decks being removed doesn't mean everything else will be better, and that's a problem. You're right. But we'll see. Like... That's why I gotta reserve a little bit of judgment, because, like, maybe it does. Like, maybe all the things I've been asking for, which is, like, you know, a better post-game, more detailed characters, like, good roster of Pokemon, like, not better, but, like, just easier and more defined battle mechanics. Not, easier is not the word either, but just, like, streamlined. Like, just have everything, I don't know. I kind of went off the rails in that thought. Not the battle mechanics themselves, but like a Battle Frontier. Like, make something like the Battle Frontier. Anyway, but yeah. So I gotta wait to reserve my judgment, because Galar might be like the best time I've ever had with Pokemon ever. I doubt it, but it's possible. Like, you never know, right? So I want to just be careful not to, because I don't really know. I don't know what's going to be possible and not possible. That's another thing. We just had a European region, so Galar doesn't feel too new. Yeah, but you know what? That's kind of... Because, like, you know, we did have, like, a New York-based region, and then we had a Hawaii region. And, yeah, they're very different in terms of climate, but you can kind of argue the same about the culture around France and England, right? Like, so I'm not as mad at that. Do I wish it was... I personally really wanted to see, like, Shanghai, like, China. I think that would have been really cool. I think, like, Australia would have been good. But yeah, Shanghai was the one, like, I personally kind of wanted to see the most. Brazil, I heard, was one that people wanted to see, because they've yet to really do South America, other than, like, alluding to Mew, like, the DNA of Mew being found there. But, yeah, so that could be cool. I would say, though, I kind of think, like, they should do Gen 10 in Brazil, because if, like, Mew was found in Brazil, I think it's Brazil, right? Maybe it's Guatemala, I don't know, but like at least South America, because then it's like, hey, we kind of like, Mew's supposed to be like the first Pokemon, right? And I know that's been muddied since then, but at the time Mew was like supposed to be the first Pokemon, and to celebrate the 10th like area region, we're gonna put it in South America. I think that's fair, right? I have the emulator for Super Smash Bros. For my computer. It is so fun. Which Super Smash? What's your favorite gym leader? Mine are Misty and Brawly. My favorite gym leaders. I like Claire. She's always really hard to beat, because the Dragonairs are so good and they like to paralyze you. But yeah, Claire is awesome. I like Crasher Wake. I like just any of the gym leaders in Gen 5 because they actually do stuff. Less so like Bryson and Lenore. I'm not a big fan of Lenora, but most of the gym leaders in that, even like Black and White too. What's her name? It's not Bugsy, but it's like a bug pun. Or no, it's Roxy. Roxy, the not to be confused with Roxanne, but Roxy, the bug. No, poison type. She's a poison type. My bad. Yeah, because Berg's still the bug. Anyway, I'm getting away from the point. Point is, yeah, Gen 5 has some really good gym leaders. I like the designs of Gen 6. I feel like they're like better, like artistically. They're really nice. But yeah, personality wise, they're kind of lacking. There's only so much you can get through with just like the visual component. You actually have to like have the matter in the game for it to, which like so many of them don't, right? Have you ever watched Pokemon Gold? No, someone has recommended that to me though before, but I haven't, and I meant to, and I never did. Almost half odds. I like Watson. Watson's cool. What's up? Oh, Triggery! Hello. Wow. You're kind of like a mini celebrity in these parts. Guys, if you don't know, Triggery is the gentleman who got the Noctowl, the shiny Noctowl at almost 13,500, I believe. And then recently also just got a shiny Ladian in this game as well. Congrats on that, by the way. I haven't said it to you personally. I think I liked the tweet or something, but yeah, big congrats on that. That's huge. The double Colosseum. I see you decided to use the Master Ball. I did. I had to. Stan, any guesses on Sirfetch'd counterpart? I could take a guess. However, if I guessed on the counterpart, I'd be cheating a little because I do know about the leak. So I knew that Sirfetch'd was coming. I also know what I think is the counterpart. So I'm not going to say just in case, because it might come true, and then some people will be like, wow, Stan's really smart, but that's not true. I'm just a cheater who looked at the test sheet before the test came out, you know? But yeah, Triggery is a legend. Yes, that's true. I literally was like sharing when I haven't shared the Ladian one, but when you got in the Noctowl, I literally like shared it all over my Discord. I'm like, see guys, like this is what it like the payoff looks like. This is so cool. Also the layout, I love the layout as well. Just absolutely amazing. But yeah, welcome to the stream. We're only doing a shorter one tonight because I actually just got home from work not long ago. I usually do about 50 per stream, which takes me about 2.5 hours. However, tonight I'm only doing about 30 because, I got home super late, and I had an early morning as well. I had a doctor's appointment. All good stuff, just like a checkup, but, so I had to be up early to get to that, and then because of that, I had to go into work later, and then I had to stay later to make up the time, and now I'm here. But yeah. What would you do if you could reverse time infinity? Wow. That's a concept I don't even know if I can begin to understand, Sanchan. You have the patience of a rock. That is true. I'm happy to finally catch your stream. Yeah, no, it's amazing. It's amazing. I'm super like happy you're here, honestly. That is not a shiny. But I know it's not a shiny. I've explained this to my chat before, that I like to just be very, very careful when I reset when I'm on stream, because I get distracted by the chat sometimes, and then I get on like a tangent or a rant, and then I just want to always make sure that I'm paying attention and I don't accidentally reset over it, you know. So it always adds a little extra time overall when I stream, as opposed to, because I do some of my resets off stream. I don't solely do these resets on stream anymore, just because if I did, it just go longer by virtue of like talking more and stuff, right? Where when I'm more focused, I can like put on a movie and just go. But yeah. Stan, you played Kirby's Epic Yarn. I'll be honest, I haven't actually played any of the Yarn games. Yoshi's, Kirby's, and it's a shame because the aesthetic looks really cool. I've always wanted to, but again, it's just like, I can never justify dropping the, because Switch game, you know, Sonic Chow, like Switch games are very expensive new here, right? So I'm sure at this point I could probably go in like the backlog and find at least the Yoshi ones for pretty cheap, but yeah. Hey Stan, you considering getting Link's Awakening Switch unless you already have it? I actually was speaking to that at the beginning of the stream. I was just saying how, like, kind of what I was just saying to Sonic Chow, in that it's just a lot of money right now for a game that, like, I do very, very much love, but could technically play at any time right now, right? I will personally probably wait. I have a feeling that's the sort of game that, like, 2 years from now is going to be, you know, like a $20 Nintendo Select. And I will probably pick it up then, because I definitely do want to try it. It looks amazing. Link's Awakening is straight up, like, among probably my top 5 favorite Zelda games. Though it's getting harder, because, like, Breath of the Wild was so good, and I still haven't played a Link Between Worlds yet, but yeah. Fave Dragon type, mine is Flygon. I like Flygon a lot as well. Goodra probably, though. I really love me some Gumi and Goodra and all that, so probably that line. Probably. Stan, I'm starstruck right now. I've watched all the reactions. People like, but they're so good. There's something about a Colosseum reaction. I mean, we all know this, and like I've spoken to this multiple times on stream, but there is something so, like, there's just a different energy with Colosseum streams, right? It's just because you know the patience. Even it doesn't matter. You literally, like, it doesn't matter if it takes them, you know, 15,000 soft reset to 20,000, or if it even takes them like 37, like in the case of the Houndoom, because in those cases it's just like, because the person was prepared to go for a very long time, and you know they're prepared. Like you know that they respect the game enough that they're ready for it. They're going in. Anyway. So seeing the elation when it pops up again, it doesn't matter if it's like in the first 500 or like, you know, like I was about to say 50,000, but 15,000 is probably a better apt comparison. But yeah, it doesn't matter if it's like that or that, because no matter what, it's just like, it's always unexpected. It always feels impossible, and it always feels like the streamer or whoever's like the hunter essentially is just like taking on like a huge project, you know. Glad to finally be able to watch a stream as well as being a parent is tough, but it's nice to get some time to still watch, because I still remember watching every stream before throughout Sun and Moon. It's crazy to think that it's almost been 3 years since the Sun and Moon streams, right? Very, very long time. Has, like, a lot of things have changed, a lot of time has passed, but you know, you're a child now. Like, it's crazy. I'm engaged. Like I live in Toronto now. Like 3 years ago, that seemed so far away and impossible, but it is, and that's the exciting thing, is that like every 3 years or so, you can almost always count on like a new Pokemon game and new Pokemon, and it's so exciting. It's about to be a really exciting holiday season. Personally, I might have been more excited for Smash Bros. Ultimate, just because that's like the game that like me and my like closest friends always like rally around and get together, and we see each other more when a new Smash Bros. Game comes out. However, in the same way, I feel like I see a lot more of you guys, and I get to interact with a lot like you guys, because you're hyped, I'm hyped, you know, and it's always so much fun. Even Let's Go, like I saw, like there's a huge spike in terms of viewership and old friends and stuff like that for Let's Go, right? And those games weren't even that different, and I think people got kind of like bored of them and stale on them very, very quickly. But it just goes to show that, like, and I'll be honest too, like I barely even like played those games. Like, I almost never stream them, you know? Whereas, like, the Galar region, I'm probably going to do a Let's Play on my main channel when they come out, like, live stream it with all you guys. That's kind of my plan. I don't have, like, a fully fleshed plan yet. I will be making one, but Heracross is, like, priority number 1 right now. But, yeah. So, I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be a really, really good, like, winter holiday season for, you know, hopefully all of us and everyone involved. And, yeah. And Heracross does have a name planned. In case you guys missed the last stream, I could do without a Trap Inch Day. It's too new. What you do if you soft reset on it and then do 2-time. They should have done Litwick for October. Yeah, Pokemon Go, it's so weird because, like, I feel like sometimes they've been, like, completely on the ball. They, like, know exactly what their audience wants. It's super exciting. And then I feel like other times they're just like, yeah, we, like, just don't care. Like, the Eevee Crown thing that's going on right now in Pokemon Go. Anyway, I'm getting, like, way sidetracked. I forget what I was about to say something. Oh, yeah, I do have a name picked out for Heracross. I decided on one. It's really funny. I think you guys will love it, like, genuinely. And I think it fits it perfectly. But I'm not going to reveal it until we get it. Because I could change it. I don't think I will. But, like, let's say we don't catch this thing before Sword and Shield come out. And then I play those games for, like, 3 months or whatever. And then I start to slowly come back into the Colosseum hunts. Like, let's say March of, like, 2020. I'm probably going to have an entirely different idea of what I want to name it. I'll have, like, a bunch more Pokemon to, like, think of, because, you know, the Galar region is going to have some new Pokemon. So there might be something close to it that I don't even know of yet, right? Like, what if Grookey's final evolution is almost the same name? And you think that would never happen, but this actually did happen to me in my black and white playthrough. I named I think it was my Electros Durant after Kevin Durant, and then I completely forgot. Like, this is how bad my Pokemon memory can be. Or maybe it just speaks to how many Pokemon there are. I totally forgot that there was actually a Pokemon called Durant. Like, I knew of the Pokemon, I just completely forgot that was its name. And so my point is, like, I've literally, by complete accident, nicknamed my Pokemon after a pre-existing Pokemon, full knowing what that Pokemon's name was, like, having played Gen 5 before. Like, this is only, like, a year or two ago that I did this. So my point is just that, like, you know, it's possible to actually name a Pokemon. Even so, did you guys see, like, on Twitter or Reddit, like, that somebody actually called the T, like, that new T, a Poltegeist or whatever? They literally, like, did proof of concept and picked that name for a ghost-like type. And it's just, it's really cool. It's really funny. But yeah, so my point is just, like, maybe a new Pokemon has that same name in Galar. But anyway. Yo, what's up, Joey? Welcome. Did you like my Diglett chart that I threw in your Discord the other day? And you're gonna go for Score Bunny. Fire Steel. Fire Steel could be cool. Definitely could be very cool. No. I could rant for hours about Go. I'm sure you could. There's a lot of dumb stuff. I am actually sad. At one point, I was going to be going to the Montreal event for Go tomorrow, and I actually bought tickets and everything. And then I just realized that it would have been super expensive to go, and I just can't go. And for whatever reason, their site was lame, and it basically prompted me to buy Friday tickets, which I didn't realize because I was just trying to get through the queue. So I bought Friday tickets, which, like, I could have never gone to anyway, because, like, I work Fridays. Hey, Andy! What's up, man? Been a while. But yes, what start are you guys liking? I'm still Team Grookey for now, but I swear Sobble is, like, super close. Score Bunny for me is probably a no-go. It just reminds me of a cereal mascot too much, or, like, I don't know, like, something you would, like, not maybe like a Digimon, but, like, some other non-Pokemon thing. Just my opinion. I actually have a feeling Score Bunny's gonna have the sickest of the shinies for the starters, but that's neither here nor there. Point is, I'm going Grookey right now. I like my grass types, you guys know that. I don't like, because, I mean, a grass owl was, like, my favorite animal, my favorite type, for starters at least. Fuse into one, I couldn't go wrong, right? The only thing that I'd prefer is if I got a legitimate snowy owl Pokemon. I think, like, the only way they could ruin a snowy owl Pokemon, don't ever have it stand on 2 legs. Like, have it always in the air, or have it, like, I don't want to see some, like, evolution of, like, a snowy owl Like, basically what they did with Decidueye works for the type of owl it is. If they did that with, like, but it was like a snowy owl with, like, I would have hated it. But Rowlet, I would have loved if they just, anyway. So yeah, Grookey, but Sobble, I got good feelings about Sobble. I don't know if it's going to end up Water Dark or Water Dragon, but I'm really excited to see where it goes. Maybe it'll just be pure water. I don't, like, that's possible too. I didn't, like, you know. I could go without knowing that about Diglett, but, you know, hey, we have to be educated, you know? We're Pokemon professors. I pick fire and grass every time, so I feel like I need to go for water. If they ruin it like Popplio, I swear. Scorbunny sort of reminds me of a Digimon. It does a little bit. And not that that's a bad thing, because I love Digimon too. But, yeah. It has that, like, I think it's like that, you know that, like, Terriermon sort of style? There's, like, a bunch of Pokemon, Digimon, that kind of look like Terriermon, like rabbits with, like, big ears. That's sort of what it reminds me of. It's like that mixed with, like, a cereal mascot. But, yeah, or Nesquik, or, yeah. We'll find out the final Evos 2 weeks before the game comes out because of leaks. Yeah, well, they've already kind of leaked what they are. We just haven't seen them, right? I want to know copy Pokemon. That'd be cool. Did you learn about that while volunteering at the library? I think Sobble would be water poison. That's also great as well, which actually makes sense with what its theme is supposed to be. That would make a lot of sense, actually. Do you stream? You will. What's your favorite Digimon? Mine is Ongidmon. I like Wargreymon. I mean, I know that's like super simple to say. In terms of like I always love Terriermon. I like Hercules Kabuterimon or whatever as well. That line's pretty cool. I don't know. I like a lot of Digimon. I've totally noticed the increase of game prices for one game for the PS4 is like $80 here in Canada. It's a lot. It's almost too much, honestly. That's why, like, I have such a hard time being like, I'm gonna buy a new game. Still don't have Fire Emblem Three Houses, and I've been like complaining about not having it for 3 months, and I still really want it, but I can't make that jump, you know. Oh wow. Roy Boy has said, all right, I'm gonna read this in Roy Boy's voice. All right, you ready? First up on our quest is Pokemon Colosseum in the Orre region. We'll take down Team Snagem and rescue Shadow Pokemon in this beloved 2004 GameCube title that I'm playing for the first time. It's here that we'll it's here we'll choose our ribbon master and obtain our first 2 ribbons on this long and arduous journey. That's the Roy Boy. Yo, I'm back from hanging out with my friend. It was free queso day at Moe's. Nice. Wasn't Scorbunny's leaked? I don't think so. That, like, the actual, like, images of it, I didn't think so. I've just read descriptions. I've never seen, even so, like, I knew of Sirfetch'd, but I had never seen an image of Sirfetch'd before the official reveal. So, like, it's still cool in that sense. Are you going to pick up Little Town Hero, Game Freak's eShop game? I'm going to wait for the reviews on it, to be honest. Right now, the RPG system, like the battle system, does seem a little complicated. Not that can be a bad thing. Like, I do enjoy complicated in RPGs sometimes, but it just, we'll see. I'm gonna hold off and wait. I hope it's really good though, because I think Game Freak really wants it to be good, and I love Game Freak, you know. So come up anything for reversing time. So what do you mean by like reversing time infinitely? Like, just I can go back whenever to any time ever? My favorite is Diaboromon. Diaboromon's sweet. Paimon was terrifying as a child. Aren't the starters based on UK sports? The names certainly are. And to be honest, well, you'll see. You'll see. How y'all been doing though? It's been some time. I'm good, Andy. I'm good. It's been a very long day for me, honestly. Surprisingly, we're actually sort of getting close to the end of the stream. Not really. There's still probably like half an hour left, but It's going by fast. It's going by fast. It's been a really fun stream so far, despite it being very short. Yeah, I haven't even been live for an hour yet, but I am making pretty good progress. We're going to be ending the stream at like 35:55 today, most likely. So, yeah, getting there. It just takes a while, right? I've avoided leaks for the most part, but did see that one. Interesting. So maybe I missed that one then, which is good. I did not forget to slurp. I did slurp. Wow, Barley. That sounds like Hank Hill. Roy kind of is the Hank Hill of Arkansas, though. You know? Because Hank Hill's from Texas, right? Yeah. I don't know how Roy Boy actually sounds like, but this is gold. He has a certain way with words. There's a reason he was voted the #1 YouTuber of 2015 from Barley and Cola. I don't understand why Nintendo increased the price on 3DS by $10 in Canada. I don't actually get that either. That seems backwards. You know what? They're probably doing it right now just for this one season so that they can like super drop it in like around Christmas time and be like, buy a new 3DS XL and get $100 off. I don't know. Probably something like that. Roy is Max Goof. Yeah, not too far off. He's probably taller though. I don't get why Nintendo increased the price. Oh, sorry, I already read that. I'm at $87.90 for Shiny Shadow Tyranitar. You've put in some work though, Paulie, since Tuesday. Keep going, man. You can't buy black and or white because they're like, you know, racist and your friends, and you're like, yeah. Like, go back to what you were doing last Saturday. Like, hypothetically, or should I actually, like, go back to what I was doing last Saturday? What was I doing last Saturday? Oh, yeah, that's true. I watched Tiff and hung out with Dennis. Go back to win the lottery multiple times. But, like, so here's I guess because I'm such a time travel nerd, I need to have, like, very specific rules. Because, you know, certain rules don't really add up, and other ones do, and I just don't want to mix them. You know, Avengers Endgame even, like, had that whole thing of, like, Back to the Future is BS. Is Roy now pouting? Roy's not pouting. Roy's probably... If I had to guess what Roy's doing right now, he probably has, like, a game on his Switch or PlayStation or something, or maybe just Steam in the background. He's probably eating something, maybe eggs, maybe toast, I don't know. And then he's, like, eating, and on his phone, he's got, like, the stream stuff going. And he's just, like, typing. He's probably talking on Discord, maybe. What's some good time travel rules, then? Well, it's not like there's one set. It's just, like, there are varying rules, right? Like, there's like, the Back to the Future one, which is basically just, like, you can change things. Like, if you go in the past, you can change things, and it's literally gonna, like, alter everything that happens, right? Like, Marty comes back, if you haven't seen the movie, spoilers, but he comes back, and his whole, like, family life is, like, better, but technically they're, like, completely different people, because they had different experiences that shaped, like, who they became, and then, anyway, it's actually kind of a miracle that, like, he still exists, because technically if he went back and, like, changed that much, you would think that, like, you know, his parents wouldn't have, like, anyway, yeah, conceived him and all of his siblings at the exact same time, given that they were completely different people with different jobs and different, right, exactly. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. See what I mean by, like, I'm a time travel nerd? Like, I think way too hard about these things. But yeah, there's things like that. There's things like Avengers Endgame, for example, where it's like, you can do the thing, you can go back in time, but you have to, like, you have to go back after and, like, replace the thing, right? So, like, they take the Infinity Stones, but at the end, Captain America has to go back and, like, replace them, so it doesn't, like... Well, they're spoiling their own movie. Anyway. But yeah. Hey Stan, I'm buying a Nintendo Switch Lite next week and buying Breath of the Wild. Any other game suggestions? Oh, what's up? How's it going, man? I would just say, like, Breath of the Wild is incredible. You definitely should buy that. Smash Bros. You can never go wrong with. Smash Bros. Ultimate is really, really fun. I had a great time with it. Or Super Mario Odyssey is also like a really fun game. Yeah, those would be my 3 picks. Sonic Chef says, "Hi Nad, I'm a Zoomer, so I haven't seen Back to the Future." It's rough. Yeah, Zoomer. It's like the new generation. Like we're boomers, like baby boomers. Well, to them we are. You, my fiance really doesn't understand internet culture. We're not actually boomers, but it's like an insult. It's like people call people like over 25 boomers because they like don't get like do you have TikTok? You're a boomer. Point checkmate. Have you ever had an add to an encounter? What? I go back in time to stop the Amazon fires. Yeah, I don't know. Like, going back in time, it's hard to say, right? Do you do it for personal reasons, for selfish reasons? Also, you gotta be careful, because like I said, if you go back and you alter something and it totally changes... Like, let's say I go back to something that happened to me in, like, high school, right? And I'm like, I'm gonna change that. Like, that was a really bad day. Maybe by changing that day, I then don't, like, go in this, like, the direction I was going in. Maybe I never meet Nad, you know? And then maybe I'm not engaged to Nad. And it's just like, I don't know. There's a movie I enjoy, a British movie, D-Man, so you might have heard of it, called About Time. And that's like a good example of like, he can go back in time and change things, but all of a sudden if he starts going back in time before his children are born, they become different children. Because like, anyway, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But yeah. Your fiance is such a boomer. I know. Tell me about it, San. Barley also says, tell Nad okay boomer for me. Nad is not a gamer. That's true. Roy would be very disappointed in Nad right now.
Why?
I'm so glad I finally watched Endgame like 2 weeks ago. Oh, yeah, sorry, Joe. Sorry, man. I didn't mean to spoil anything. I just, like, on all their social media, they've been, like, spoiling it themselves. So I almost was like, there's no way I'd be spoiling it. But, you know, there are people who still haven't seen it, I'm sure. Oh, they mean, like, have Nad do an encounter for me.
No, because everything I touch will be ruined.
She says everything she touches will be ruined. And let's be honest, boomers and technology do not mix into a nice recipe. I got hit with a pillow for that. But it's true. It's true. In the same way that I probably wouldn't let my grandfather do an encounter, I probably wouldn't let Nat either, because that's how you end up resetting on a shiny. What if you went back in time and met Hitler when he was an artist? I mean, I can't even imagine the ripples in time that would cause. That's one of the age-old questions, right? About time travel is like, would you go back and kill Hitler, right? And then, because it's like, yeah, you would easily save like millions and millions of lives and like a lot of darkness, but at the same time, it changes everything irreparably. Like, everything changes after if you do that. Maybe for better. Like maybe without, you know, him, we're now in a utopia and Elon Musk has landed on Mars and colonized it. Like, I don't know. Like, time travel's weird. It's a weird thing. Boomer time. When will Breath of the Wild finally get a price drop? I really want to buy that game, but it's still pricey. I'm going to tell you, it'll be a while. Because, like, they're probably still selling through really, really, really well. You know, like Mateo just said, like he bought one recently, and so yeah, I don't know. I think that it'll be a while, and then it will just be a classic, like, and you'll be able to get it for super cheap forever. But for now, it's gonna cost you. If you want it in like the next like 4 years, it's probably gonna cost you. Do you ever read 11/22/63 by Stephen King? I did not. I've heard really good things though. When will Breath of the Wild finally get a Sorry, I read that. If it makes you feel better, Nat, I don't even have TikTok on my phone either. That's coming from Sonic Chow, who is... Sonic Chow might not even be a Zoomer. Sonic Chow might be, like, younger than a Zoomer. I don't know what the cutoff time is. Barley, do you know this? You and Sonic Chow are, like, the same age.
Isn't it after 2000 they're all the same?
Yeah, but eventually they have to create new... Because there is a difference, right? There's a difference between, like, me and you who grew up with, like, dial-up and no cell phones.
Yeah,
and
90s babies.
Right, and then there's, like, even, like, my brother who, like...
He's still 90s. He's a year younger than me.
Yeah, but he's starting to get in that like realm where, since the time he can remember, computers were operational and like usable, but maybe not like a big deal. But now there's kids who exist who were born with literally like they had a cell phone when they were like 1. Not they weren't using it. They weren't like making, you know, Wall Street bets on their phone, but yeah, no, like they had iPhones like when they were growing up all the time. They've never like not had the internet as like a easy to access like point of entry, and because technology moves so fast in the last like 20 years or so, they have to kind of break up those people, because there's literally there's like groups of teenagers who grew up without Facebook, like on MySpace. There's ones who grew up like with Facebook. There's ones who grew up with like Instagram, and now there's ones who are growing up with like TikTok. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Anyway, she's a boomer. Sorry I had to explain that to her. Cut off one head, grow 2 back. I'd imagine a lot of things were invented for the good due to the issues with Hitler. I mean, who knows? Again, it's best not to speculate, because you really don't know how everything would have been affected. But the truth is, things would have been different, and sometimes different is worse, right? That's all. Oh, yeah, no worries, D-Man. Link away. Facebook is for boomers. I don't use it either. I actually don't like it. It relates to boomers and millennials. Nice. I'm pretty sure D-Man and I are probably both millennials, Barley. I was born when you were playing Gold and Silver. See, that's what I mean, though. Like, that's scary. That, like, I was playing the 2nd generation of Pokemon, and, like, a kid, like, in grade, like, 1, and then Barley was born, you know? And, like, by the time Barley played a Pokemon game, it was probably, like, Gen 5. Yeah, I think Harry Potter transcends generations, right? Zoomers like Harry Potter, right? There are Zoomers, Boomers, Bloomers, and Doomers. It's very good and gives you good reasons why you shouldn't mess with historical events. I've heard that. I like Stephen King. Nad and I were just doing sort of a movie marathon of his work recently. I should actually read his stuff. I hear like reading his stuff is so much better. I'll be honest, I don't read a lot. Like, and I should. I love reading. When I get into a book, I really like get into it, but it's just so few and far between. Yeah, think about that. Barley was born after 9/11. Yeah. It's crazy, right? I know. Like the number 1 song in the world when Barley was born was probably like Hey by Usher.
No.
Well, something like Nickelback. It's probably like How You Remind Me by Nickelback. 2002? Into Club, 50 Cent probably, or like Lose Yourself, Eminem. 8 Mile came out in 2002, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like Nickelback and like Eminem were like the highest charting artists when Barley was born. Right? That's what I mean. Like, it's weird. We're boomers. Is Nad born between 95 and 2000? Yeah, she is.
95
She is. But I know what you're getting at, D-Man, because you're going to say she's Gen Z. But Gen Z, well, you might be, but people, like, they're still undistinguished about, like, what is and what. I've seen 97, I have seen 95, I've seen 96, obviously. But yeah. Yeah, I just listen to audiobooks, to be honest. Me too, Joey. Nowadays, it's I will say I don't retain as much listening to audiobooks, but I can get through them faster, right? So, like, I feel like I learn more, but just not as much about the same thing, if that makes any sense. Like, I can digest more stories and more experiences via the audiobooks, but, like, I'm less focused on them. And so, like, in the way that, like, you would reread, like, a sentence if you, like, had found yourself checked out, you don't really do that with audiobooks, right? So the ones that I really like, I'll listen to them over and over and over again, so that I can actually, like, digest everything. But most of the time, I just, like, I finish one, on to the next one, you know? My age is destroying Nat. I feel horrible. There's times where I feel old, too. Yeah? Well, I can't link Facebook image link. I think I'm the youngest one here. So, am I Gen Z at 97? I think you would be no matter what, Joe. Yeah. I think you're just you.
You're still nice, baby.
I think you and Jason are in that definite like that Gen Z. Like I'm like a, you know, a millennial, and you guys are just a little younger, a little. I think they define millennials mostly as like we were like looking for colleges when, or in college when the recession hit is like the big thing.
2008.
2009 was the recession. Yeah.
I was in grade 9.
We were deeply affected by it, I guess is the point. Like, because I know, for example, like I was personally affected by the recession because like, you know, some family stuff happened because of it that then led me to, anyway. So yeah, I think that's like a big factor. It's not the only factor, but I think that's a big factor for it. I listen to Joe Rogan on YouTube for hours. I sometimes listen to Joe Rogan when I want to like fall asleep. I find his podcasts very calming. I know there's certainly ones where he gets like super argumentative, but for the most time they're pretty chill. Yes, Joe Rogan and Seth Rogen are actually twins. Yeah, they're twins. They were both born on the island of Fiji. To one Jamaican and one French Canadian parent each, and they were twins. They were split at birth, and they've recently found each other again because of their love of marijuana. Yeah, I get you. I just lay back and close my eyes when I listen to audiobooks and watch the scene play out in my head. That's nice. That actually sounds lovely. I usually like listen to mine when I'm like traveling. That book was a miniseries on Hulu, I think. Yeah, but didn't they like butcher it, Zane? I heard bad things about the movie, not the book, obviously. The book apparently is wonderful. I'm gonna be a quarter of a century old in November. Jesus, yo, time flies. Time flies. I actually had this realization. Like, there was someone on Reddit yesterday. I read, and they were like, "Yeah, I have to like start over my life. Like my wife just left me, took the kids, blah blah blah, and now I have to start over at 36. What do I do?" And in my head, I'm like, "Oh wow, like 36 is old. Like that sucks for that guy." And then I was like, "Wait, like 10 years from now, I'll be 36. Like that's not that far away." Because 10 years ago I was 16, and time only goes by faster the older you get. That's something they don't really teach you, but it is true. Literally the way our brain perceives things. Yeah, the older you get, the faster you register time. So that's why, like, when you're a kid, like, you know, 5 minutes can feel like eternity, and why, you know, like waiting for Christmas can be like, oh my god, like it's so long, it's taking forever. And then when you're just older, it's because it basically just about like you have so many like neurological like synapses and stuff like that are firing, and they just dull over time. And as they dull, you just like you're not registering new things as much. And when you stop doing that, it just things go by faster because you're not registering. I don't know. I read it once. It's a thing. Look it up on Google if you want. Roy loves marijuana. Roy actually does love the Purple Kush. That's his. He actually named his weirdly his shotgun that Purple Kush. And he takes it when he goes on his elk hunts. You know what else helps me fall asleep? Epic Yarn soundtrack. That's awesome. I'm glad you're able to find, you know, some tranquility in that. Well, things were cut, but it wasn't bad. Oh, okay. So it was okay. I don't know. I did hear that it wasn't that great. That's all I heard. I found since having my son, the time has just flown by. We are already almost in 2020. I know. We're almost in the roaring 20s, guys. It's crazy. I feel like the last few years have just flown past, and they're gonna continue. Like all of a sudden, like seriously, all of a sudden, like chunks of 5 years are gonna feel like they happen like that. You know, that's unfortunately just the way humans are. Like we're just programmed to feel old. Have you ever watched Dragon Ball? Yes, of course. I love Dragon Ball. I literally have a Trunks statue up there, and actually, I don't know. You probably can't see them, but right behind me, I have, if you know those like Funko Pops, I have a bunch of them, and they're Dragon Ball ones here. Oh, you literally can't see them. They're. I bet you can see them now if my hand's not in the way, which I bet it is. I don't know if you can see those. Yeah, and I have some Avengers ones like Iron Man, and then I have Dragon Ball ones, and then yeah, cool beans. I'm now realizing I don't think I was showing the pops at all. I think I was just missing them. Oh, you can see a little bit of them. Sorry, I'm like watching it back. But yeah, you can see a little bit of them, which is nice, even though it's mostly the white wall. That's the only issue with having a delay. I just realized that I only got 2 or 3 years of school left. I know, that's the thing, is that like it is bittersweet in a way. Like personally, do I ever want to go back to high school? No. But it is like I do miss like the idea of youth, you know? It's not that like I'm still fairly young, but just there was just a different energy when you're like no responsibilities, just, you know, just and also the idea of like when you're young it feels like anything is possible, you know? And it's just like as you get older, with I would say like every like 5 years or whatever after like high school, you just like it really starts to like hit you like how you either like want to have your life together in a certain way, or if you don't then you feel guilty about it, or like you're just and like anyone can start over at any time, obviously. Like look at that Reddit comment I mentioned earlier, but it just like it definitely does start to feel more like the opportunity windows are slightly closing for like whatever that pathway might be, right? It's like maybe I was supposed to like, not maybe I was supposed to, but maybe I could have done this thing that I've always wanted to do, but now that I'm getting older and I have more responsibilities, that window might be closing, right? That's one of the reasons why like I've been to Tokyo twice since I, you know, graduated college, because I'm just like, before I have like, when I have kids, I can never go to Tokyo until they're like probably like 18. No, true.
They go to the grandparents. We go to Tokyo.
You know, but it just it's harder, and you're more worried, and like there's stress involved. Anyway, hey, what's up, Corey? Welcome. How you doing, Corey? Corey. I remember sneaking out of my room as a kid to watch Dragon Ball with my brothers when I was like 4 or 5 years old. I never snuck out of my room, but I definitely, me and my brother used to watch South Park when we weren't supposed to, when I was like 10 and he was like 7. And our parents didn't know, and we had to like hide it. I just got Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 for Switch, and I feel like a kid again. Nice. Very cool, very cool. Yeah, I was actually watching, we did a video at work about Dragon Ball Fighters, and I was like watching it, and I'm like, man, I missed that game. I need to like pick up that, because I think I only ever played the demo. I don't think I ever even like bought it, but I'm just like, man, it was so much fun. Not sure if Stan has the glow-in-the-dark Super Saiyan Goku. I do not have that one. I have some rare ones. I'll be honest, I really stopped collecting them like a year or two in, because there's so many of them now. Like I looked it up on eBay not that long ago, and there's so many Dragon Ball Z specific ones, and that's like, and if you want Dragon Ball Super, they have their own line, and Dragon Ball has its own line, and I'm just like, man, do I really need a Chi-Chi plastic figure? Probably not. So I just stopped wholesale. There's ones that I would like to get, like I really wanted to get the Broly one, just any, like basically I don't really want like any more like forms of characters. I feel like I have like 5 Vegetas, 5 Gokus in all like their different forms, right? But what I do want is like all the characters I don't have. So like I don't have like, you know, Goten, I don't have like Teenage Gohan, or like Hercule, or like any like people like that, right? Tien I don't think I have. So that's more like, if I ever got into them again, I'd want to just get like the very specific characters. But yeah, I'm okay for now. Having kids is very expensive. Yeah. It's a lot of energy, right? Both financially and obviously just like internally. I remember all the pops at Comic-Con when it was crazy. Yeah, and remember too, Joe, when we went to PAX and Blizzard had like the rare like Reapers or whatever. I had to sneak out of my room because I wasn't allowed to watch the shows because they came on past my bedtime back then. So yeah, that's the thing, is like our parents would like never let us sneak out. There was no chance. They're very light sleepers, and we were all somewhat close to each other on the same floor. And so yeah, like there was no chance of that. And neither me nor my brother were allowed to have TVs in our room. It's true story. So eventually I just, like, when I was old enough, when I was like 15, I just like moved into the basement where there was a TV and just like lived there basically. But yeah. Yeah, growing up, I was not allowed to have a TV in my bedroom.
Even in my 20s, when I lived with my parents, I wasn't allowed to.
Yeah.
It was always only living room.
Yeah, because they're like, you're gonna ruin your sleeping habits, and
Yeah,
we
and
can't
even,
we
like,
can't enforce when you'll fall asleep.
Even a computer was never allowed in the room. When I got my first laptop, they would remove it from
See,
me.
that's right there. That's the difference between being a millennial and a Gen Zer. Because I never even had that thought that I would ever have a laptop when I was even in high school, really.
Oh, I had like 5 because I have no.
Yeah, but laptops were more like by the time I was in college, like everyone had a laptop. But it was just like when I was in early, especially early high school, no one I knew just had a laptop. It was just it was like everyone had like a home computer.
I also have like with the private school though.
I know.
And it was kind of like mandatory.
Mm-hmm. But you're also, I'm just saying, like times were different though. Like anyway. Something interesting. I got into contact with the guy who posted the video of the Skarmory that was shiny for the opponent but not him. Happened during the rematch and wasn't in the first fight, or at least doesn't recall it being shiny in the first battle. So it seems like the theory that it can only be shiny for the opponent in rematches seems more solid. I think it's solid. I think it's for real. Favorite character that is not in Universe 7. Champa? I don't know. Definitely not Jiren. Jiren, not a fan. Not a fan. I guess Zamasu was very promising. I don't know if I'm a huge fan with how all that ended up, but very promising at the very least. So I'm gonna go with like Zamasu. Although, I guess technically Zamasu like exists in like a bunch of different universes. So if we're not talking in terms, because like yeah, then I guess like I don't know, Champa hit. Yeah, no worries. I honestly only have 10 pops. Mega Man related with Wolverine, Ash Williams, and the Tick amongst them. Yeah, and I bought way too much of that Blizzard Sand. You bought the place out, dude. You're crazy. It was only in the living room as well, but my siblings were older than me, so they were allowed to stay up later, and my mom would go to bed. After me, my younger siblings were in bed. Makes sense, makes sense. I'm sure I would have done the same thing if I was a younger sibling. So, I definitely get it. I definitely get it. My mom hated me having my laptop in my room or my phone. Yeah, see, that's the other thing. I think my parents would have, like, hated us having a phone. Because a phone is even harder to, like, police, you know?
But no data. Like, I didn't have data on my phone until I was in my...
But Wi-Fi, though, right? Oh.
I had, like, the... Yeah, no, my iPhone, I just was not allowed to.
So you didn't even have Wi-Fi on your iPhone?
My parents would, like, shut off the Wi-Fi.
Oh, see, that's smart. Her parents would shut off the Wi-Fi when they went to bed. That's
Also,
smart.
Very controlling.
It is very controlling, but also in their defense, like it was a new thing for them too, because they didn't grow up with Wi-Fi, and like so they were just probably trying to do their best.
No, and they are the computers were blocked with certain stuff.
Mine is
They would
Kefla.
do that with,
Kefla's cool. Kefla's cool. I'm not a huge fan of the Universe 6 people. I don't know. Growing up with 6 siblings, we only had a family desktop that was in the middle of the living room. Same with the TV. Nice. Yeah, so there's 7 of you? Like, that's one for each Dragon Ball. I can't wait till Super starts up again. Is it, or are they just doing another movie? I've heard rumors that they're going to do another movie first. I've also heard rumors that another series is coming, though. So, I mean, like, you know. If I were to have kids, I'd be the parent that bans screens. Well, I don't envy any parent, because, like, it is a tightrope, right? It's like, you don't want them to be ostracized, and you don't want them, like, because regardless of what you do, they are growing up in a world now where, like, screens are just there. Like, it's, like, that's how it is. And it sucks, because I also agree, like, I'd rather my kids didn't grow up with, like, constantly being attached to screens and stuff. But I'm kind of attached to screens. Like, so I'd be kind of a hypocrite, and, like, they're all around, and I don't know. It'd be very hard. It'd be very hard to police it in full and still have them like not feel sheltered in a weird way. I don't know. Luckily, I don't have to be the first like testers. There's like, you know, like I have cousins and stuff who have kids right now and kind of are going through that, and I don't have to be, you know, I can at least kind of learn from their experiences and mistakes and be like, all right, I think this is the way.
I would like take their phone away and give them a DS at night.
Ah, Sonic Chow's mom turns off the Wi-Fi as well.
Yeah. Sonic Chow, we're so like. High five.
There is a balance. There has to be. It's an age of technology. That's just the truth, right? Like, it just is. It's crazy that, like, by the time I have kids, like, I don't even know what phones are going to be capable of, right? Because we've already seen the cameras on phones now are, like, better than anything that ever even existed when I was even 18. Like, it's crazy how far cameras have come in even just, like, a decade, right? And so what, like, if, let's say I have kids, like, 5 years from now, like, how much more technology by the time they're 5, so, like, a decade from now, how much more technology will they have access to at, like, the tips of their fingers, right? I let my son watch TV, but I make sure it's, like, educational, like, learning letters and numbers and animals and there's just... Yeah, and hey, like, I definitely grew up with TV. Like, I was a TV kid, for sure. I was at, like, babysitters a lot, and just, like... So, yeah, I think phones are just the new version of TV, but it's just, the thing is, like, unlike my parents, who, their parents, like, when my parents grew up, TVs already existed. Whereas, like, you know... For maybe not so much me, but that's what I'm saying. Like, the generation right now who are parenting, like yourself, Melissa, it's kind of like untapped territory. We don't know what the lingering effects are, right? We don't know if it, like, because it's so much more, like, personal and addictive, like a phone can be, if it's actually going to cause complications later in a way that TV doesn't, because you can't bring a TV with you. You can't have a TV at all times. You know? There was separate time from TV, and even like we said, like not having, you know, TVs in bedrooms and stuff. Like, it's harder to police that when it's a phone. And so, I guess, like, there's no studies yet because, like, it hasn't really gone full circle yet. But the kids born in, like, you know, like, after Barley, I'd say probably like the kids born in like 2007 and stuff. Like, now they're coming up, and it remains to be seen once they actually enter like the workforce and stuff. We'll really know if it's had a big effect, or maybe it hasn't. Maybe it's the exact same, and we're worrying the same way, I'm sure, the first parents who introduced their kids to TVs worried about that, right? Like, but anyway, wow, guys, the stream is almost over. I'm gonna do one more, because obviously I always do this, and I never hyped it up. Also, we did technically start at 35:26, so to do a full 30, I gotta do one more. But, yeah. That's, it's flown by tonight. I mean, it obviously was much shorter, an hour 20 as opposed to, like, the 2:20 we usually do, but it was really fun. I feel like there were a lot of people in here tonight, and I'm very happy. It's good to see all you guys. I'm not gonna lie, I was very exhausted and kind of didn't want to do this stream. I thought I'd be home a little earlier than I ended up, and then there's an issue. I got food on the way home, and there was, like, an issue, so that took a long time, too. Anyway, an exhausting day. There's, like, a hospital visit and stuff with that. Then work stuff, and then, you know, the food issue I just mentioned, and anyway, so by the time I got home, I was like, yeah, maybe I'll just call it, but I'm glad that I went live. It was really fun. It was great talking to you guys. In this age, you can bring TV anywhere with data, but I get what you're saying. He plays with his toys in the car while we were traveling. No, that's awesome. Also, for the record, I just want you to know, I am not, like, judging any parenting of anyone. I am not, what's the word, policing or trying to input my, because I genuinely do feel that, like, you know, being a parent is, like, the hardest thing. I mean, it's kind of what we're, like, genetically, at least, like, kind of programmed to do, right? But it's so difficult, and it's so tough, and it's a wild card. It's kind of a crapshoot, right? And in a lot of ways, there's a lot you can't control, and there's some stuff you can, but at the end of the day, like, nobody knows. Nobody knows what's best. Nobody knows, you know, like how things go. And so I hope you don't think I'm trying to be like an educator, because I know nothing. And yeah, I think it's really hard. It's going to be very interesting. I'm sure in the next decade I will be a parent myself at some point.
They still have scholastic club, you know,
Yeah.
one where you like
Yeah.
purchase whatever. I have to get it's still not that exposed, so I have hope.
Okay.
Maybe that, then all will be
Okay. Yeah, no, things are just changing really fast, right? And that's all. Stan, could you play the credits music from Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story? For you, I will. Sonic Shell. You did ask me that on Tuesday, so I will do it. And as we haven't really even been listening to music at all, I don't think it's any sort of issue. But yeah, this is the last one, guys. If we do catch this and it is a shiny, it will be female Heracross. So let's see what happens. Drum roll. Red, blue, and no, it's blue. It's not red. It's blue. But it's all good. It's all good. I straight up doing 30. I really didn't expect to catch it tonight. I am very tired, and it is like 9 p.m. here, so I'm probably gonna hit the hay. Please don't take it too hard. That I gotta go to bed, but I am gonna go to bed. I haven't seen Nad in a while either. She wasn't here yesterday night, and so I got home and immediately like streamed. So I need to catch up with my Nad, and yeah. But I will probably see you guys on Tuesday. I can't imagine why I wouldn't. Then we will do 50. I'm hoping, my friends. I'd really like to get 200 done between now and Tuesday. So that's with the weekend. So I have Friday, I have some Saturday, and I have Monday. I don't have Sunday. Sunday's kind of off limits, but I have like tomorrow night I'll try to do like 70, Saturday I'll try to do like 70, then Monday I'll try to do 70, and between those three hopefully it works itself out, right? But yeah, I'm hoping that I'll see you guys at 3:37:55 on Tuesday. That'd be really, really nice, and then we could hopefully by the end of the week finish that off, and by the following Tuesday we'd be in 4,000 and in October. So that's exciting. But thank you so much for tuning in. It was a really, really fun stream tonight. I feel like you guys all came out tonight and showed such great love. And yeah, you guys are amazing. I really do love you. I can't wait to share the name with you. I can't wait to see what other Pokemon news, because I'm sure before I see you next, like, some Pokemon news will break, because we're getting into that season. But take care of yourselves. And as I always say, happy hunting, baby rhinos. And peace. And I gotta play Bowser's Inside Story for Sonic Shao. Love ya. Bye.